What up, guys? Let's go ahead and get into it. It's December 2nd, 2024. Gonna review my one trade of the day that I took, SNTI. It's gonna be a quick one. Should be an easy one. You guys that know me by now, you know how I trade, and this should be a pretty easy walkthrough for you. If you're not familiar with it or if it's still confusing, guys, message me, ask me questions. I know this is difficult, but the more you ask, the more you can get better, okay? But yeah, let's go ahead and start off with this banger. So SNTI guys, first thing that popped up on the alerts today. No excuse of why you didn't get into this trade, or at least had it on your radar. Maybe you might have missed it, which is okay. There were still other runners, but for me, this is the only one that I took, the only one I needed to take. So yeah, let's start out with the news that was there. We had SNTI and the report of what came out there. So now, again, if you know how I trade, check mark on the catalyst. We got alerted that at 4:05 a.m., 7:05 Eastern time. Okay, so look, earlier right here, you got alerted this. Okay, and obviously it spiked up at to 290, so you got alerted up here. It pulled back down, did its initial pullback. Now, what should start to ring, your bells as far as wanting to trade is what are you looking at, guys? Again, when you have it, rise and then fall, and this is pre-market now, early in the morning, right? Then obviously you got some new highs in pre-market. This is great. If you trade pre-market, I didn't trade pre-market because I kind of, not gonna lie to you, I got up late. I was tired. It was the holiday weekend, coming off feeling, still stuffed with turkey and whatnot. But I got into the market, late. But again, getting in at like 9 o'clock is fine. 6 p.m., or 6 a.m. Eastern Pacific time, 9 Eastern time was fine with me. But anyways, it got in, simple stuff, pull up the charts. I see that this thing is still holding highs. And as you guys know from the alerts that I said SNTI, JCE, JCSC, and KULR was on my watch list to watch. If you look at all those stocks there, I don't know if I had them all pulled up here. The only one I was missing. Well, no, they were all pulled up, and this is still up from pre-market. Okay. And as you can see, this is real time, December 2nd. This clock's still going. Okay, blah blah blah. But let me shorten this a little bit. These are the ones I had pretty much pulled up today. SNTI, without trying to give it a dead giveaway, was the most obvious on the watch list for a few reasons. One, it was having the most volume, and then two, opening bell. I mean, this grinded out here through all of pre-market, and it popped up. This is a good sign of strength, you guys. Um, but obviously, I want to be cautious. I want to be optimistic, and know what the game plan is going in. In my mind, my stop loss level in my mind was 450 in this range area. I knew if I hit here, it was going to be, you know, make it or break it, take it or lose it. So here we are, pre-market, right? It's too late for me to get in. We got another signal that this thing was going to be spiking right here, another good sign. Now it's at from $7. So already in pre-market, guys, from your first alert at 209, it's ran at $7 off of that news alone, right? Now, obviously, you want to test the waters, make sure it's not a fade. Well, for me, I don't play the opening gap and go. I used to, but never worked out well for me. Now I've become better at reading price action and following volume and looking at money flow, things that you need to do as a trader to know, hey, this is a possibility that it might go higher than it was. Level two was looking crazy on this thing. You had ample notifications and able to see orders that was, moving fast. So obviously all the volume's coming here, the money's coming here, right? And yeah, once you've been in the market long enough, guys, and you're following these kind of stocks, you're able to train yourself to recognize what could run and which ones leaving the back burner, right? Um, Compared to the others. Like look at some of these, whatever else was on the watch list in the beginning. KLUR, wasn't really ideal coming out the gate either, and neither was any other ones. But then you have ones that surprise you, like PB&T or PBBT. That was a good one. But anyways, the game plan here was come opening bell. I'm about two candlesticks in, right? And it's fighting between the 730 range and the 670 range, right? Just on the first few candles there, it was in this range here. So that's about a good dollar worth of movement. Again, my risk to reward ratio was pretty wide open on this one. But again, I told myself $4, I can be okay with losing that because the potential upside was going to be good enough for me, right? So obviously you have your indicators of what you're using. So I waited and got into the got into the stock at $7.16, which is roughly around this area, which was right around here when I started to get into it. And believe it or not, guys, I was in the red to down like 650. Inexperienced traders would look at this section right here and think that, oh, it's starting to turn down, it's going to get even worse, which for me was fine because again, at this point, it's only been in the $7 range, but it can go back down to $4. That's a $3 move, right? So I'm okay with that. I want to see it test the waters, at least get into the five or whatever. But I was okay entering at 716 because if it does go up, it's going to go up. If it doesn't, then that's fine. So obviously, I know that there's some pullback coming here. Most traders would get impatient, don't want to wait for the trade to play out. I've been doing this for a long time. I know to wait, especially on the 5 minute chart. And this is the 1 minute chart, so I'm looking at entries and exits. And then, of course, what happens? It halts and it pops up. Okay. Um, and then it just takes off from there. And then pretty much the rest of this was all she wrote. I mean, look, it just played out in the favor because there was only but so much room for it to go down. And sellers kept trying to push it down, push it down, push it down. Nobody was cashing out, even in the opening bell. By the time you've hit a good 10 to 15 minutes into the market, the stock is usually going to tell you what it's going to do. If it hasn't dropped within that time frame, yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, it could go the opposite way. But more than likely, when it's been that long, maybe even up to an hour or so, it's going to be going the opposite way. So if it hasn't fallen yet, and that means nobody is cashed out, that means nobody's looking to cash out, So, and look at this. This bad boy ran all the way up to what, $17? Man. So this was a good little, what, $4,600 profit for me, 500 shares at 716. And yeah, and then pretty much I didn't want to be greedy. It's the beginning of the month. I have ample of time the rest of the month to, get more profits. We're in that time of the year, the cycle where the market's going to do what it does. You should know this by now, guys. We've been doing this for 4 years at least, some of you longer. But yeah, so anyways, took my little profits, and which was good because it grinded out and it even held a little bit more, which wasn't bad. I wasn't really thinking about going back into it because I was like, I need to walk away for the day. I did my time. I did my little hour of trading, got my profits, and I'm good to go. So I walked away, kept it on the radar, right? But yeah, pretty much the rest of the day it just kind of stagnant, stayed out, which again is what these stocks do. Um, no after hours pop. You would have noticed that right around here, around the power hour, that it's just gonna either stay stagnant or cash out, especially with something like indicating it right here with this big drop. It's going to come back down. Guys, what goes up must come back down. That's how all these small cap and penny stocks are. Please do not hold on and hope. These are not investments. These are trades. There's a difference, okay? And then you got after hours still dying on. I'm anticipating it to die out again tomorrow. So if you find shares are short, great for you, but understand the risk on that. As you guys seen in the Facebook group, um, another trader got a margin call on them and how that looked. But yeah, this is pretty much how the trade played out today. Again, great trade, guys. There was 130% gain for me. Hopefully, you guys got a profit too. I seen you guys in the group chat talking about it. I'm glad you guys are making money. Um, and those of you that are into it, great. You know, this isn't a get rich quick scheme, guys. You gotta practice this stuff. And I laid it out as much as I can for you. Eventually, the stuff that I'm telling you guys is going to get repetitive enough to where you're like, I kind of know this already. And now you're going to understand that you're going to need to start implementing the changes that you need to implement to be successful. Because I can tell you my strategies and what I do all day, but it only works for me because it works for me. As a trader, you got to understand it's very individualistic, and you got to be able to, find where your place is in the market to be most profitable. Okay, no matter what it is. Don't try to copy me and copy my trades. Do what fits for you. All right. And I just try to guide you to be able to do that as much as possible. But yeah, I'll post results here when we're done with this. But hopefully you guys got, into some of this. If not this, maybe even PB, what was it, PBBT? Because that bad boy went pretty, parabolic as well too today. Was it PBBT? Let me see here. Yeah, PBBT. Let me pull it up here for you. Let me see when we got alerted that bad boy. Yeah, we got alerted at $4.50. Look where it ran up to today. If you got in that one, kudos to you. I mean, we got alerted down here. So yeah, all the way to $14. So you guys had ample time in between just that first 2 hours of trading to make money, you know, whether you longed it or whether you shorted. And this is a clear sign that this thing was going to be pulling back because you had all these halts right here. And what did I tell you guys? You wait for a pullback and then you go into it. The candles will tell you if you want to just do candlestick trading, if you don't want to use volume weighted average price, if you don't want to use any isolators, you have ample of ways to figure this stuff out. Okay. And I go over all the stuff for you in the course. It's plain as day. But yeah, guys, hit me up if you have any questions. Let's look forward to the rest of the weekend. 30 days, 30 trades. That's how I'm trying to do it this month for you guys. And give you enough to review. So going into 2025, even more profitable. All right. Stay green.